Dr. Raymond, and welcome you beautifully to join us tonight.
So, thank you. It is great to be gathered with family once again. Love y'all. Yes. Oh, yes. So, I guess if it's okay with you, we're going to dive in sort of the same way we did last time with the idea and the theme. And as David just said, so it's let go and let God. The universe has your back. So, the idea is oftentimes in New Thought, we say these nice, little, cute, pithy statements and affirmations and stuff, and a lot of us were like, "Yeah, I like that. Yes, that's good. Yes, I." But what does that really mean? Like, how do I do this? Right? So I want us to like really embody what this is actually saying at the essence, like at the deepest core, having a clear understanding. And in order to do that, we have to define or extrapolate a few key concepts, starting with, okay, so what does it mean to let God, right? Like if we're going to talk about it, we have to say, well, what does it mean to let go or let go? Then what does it mean to let God? And well, wait a minute, if I'm going to talk about letting God, then I have to have a very clear understanding of what do I mean by when I say God? Like what does that mean to me? Because we have to keep in mind that an affirmation that is spoken is just like a seed that stays in the palm of your hand. Just saying it doesn't cause it to demonstrate, manifest, or grow. Planting it, embodying it, being the very living demonstration of the affirmation. Right? Like, let's keep in mind that Yeshua said, Jesus said, when you pray, pray as if you already have the thing you are praying for. When doing an affirmation, say the affirmation as though you already have what you are affirming. When making a declaration of truth, say it as though it is already your lived experience. And if you're going to do that, then it has to be an embodiment. Otherwise, there's a contradiction where I am rich and I am healthy. No, you're not. Why are you saying it, but you're not? Because you know that other voice, the ego, is going, yes, I am. David and Lynn said, say the affirmation. Ray, shut up. Just stop. Just stop. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Because you don't really believe that. Like we have that internal tug of war happening. So if we want it to be a true answered prayer,
is being recorded.
If we want it to be a true answered prayer, then we have to embody it. So once again, what does it mean? What does God mean? And then if we're going to talk about, so what is the universe? Because if I'm going to say the universe got my back, then I need to know what the universe is and what does it mean for it to even have my back. Right? So it's a literal breakdown of what are these words conceptually meaning? What is the essence of these words? And how do I live it? How do I become what I am saying? So, let's see. In New Thought, we say a lot of things that we don't really dive into. Like, I'm just going to throw this out there as a quick example. We say a world that works for all. But do we really sit and discuss what that means? Because at face value, a world that works for all means a world that works for the neo-Nazi, a world that works for the Klan member, a world that works for the child trafficker. A world that works for all includes all of them. And that's not what we're saying. But how often do we excavate, well, who is the all? In order for a world to work for all, what we are saying is we are elevating consciousness to such a degree that there is no neo-Nazi anymore. There is no Klan member anymore. There is no child trafficker anymore. And so the world that works for all because it is an elevated consciousness of oneness, of love, of compassion, and unity. But we don't often dive deep into that. So we have a lot of folks who are new to New Thought, new to CSL, and but Reverend Ray, I don't understand. And so they have that internal conflict where they're not really investing in the vision because somewhere in them they know that that's not accurate or effective. So once again, let's anchor in. Let go, let God, the universe has your back. But let us also be mindful to be sure that we are not anthropomorphizing God in any way. Because sometimes we will say, well, I let God handle that. But Ernest Holmes said, God in me, as me, is me. So there is no external God that is doing whatever this is. So let's be mindful when I say things about a cosmic 2x4 or, well, that must be the universe's lesson for me. Well, I am it. So if the universe has a lesson, then the universe has a lesson for itself as me. That's a very different energy, right? What exactly am I communicating when I make God or the universe an other rather than an embodied energy and presence from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, from the surface of my skin to every atom, quantum particle, molecule, wave of energy? It's all God and it's all good. It's a very different consciousness to go there. So let's come back. Let's explore a little deeper. If I'm letting go, does that mean I'm surrendering? If I'm letting go, does that mean I'm releasing? And be mindful that our culture does not like the idea of surrender. We see surrendering as weakness. So we have to explore within our own selves, do I tend to not want to surrender or release or let go because of how I have been domesticated from some hand-me-down paradigm and consciousness that says cling, grab, collect, and hoard. Cling, grab, collect, and hoard. Like that becomes some mantra. Cling, collect, and hoard. Cling, hold. Do not let go. What? Because we let go when we breathe. I inhale. I don't want to let go. Then I'm going to fall over. We already engage in the process. We go to the restroom. We let go. The body does what it does, and it has toxins that the bathroom, the toilet release into. And bye-bye, it's gone. We release. We laugh. Ha ha ha, that's a release. We breathe. We communicate. I don't say a word and then try, okay, I got to keep that word for later. I got to save it because I might need that. We speak and we let it, we already do it. But when it comes to specific things, emotional things we are invested in emotionally, for dost thou not know that I will not forgive? For forgiving means that I must let go. And I need to hold on to this grudge because they did me wrong and I don't want to forget about it and I don't want to let it go because they might do it again. So there are certain things that we cling to and hold on to rather than saying, pause. If it does not serve me, let it go. If it does not benefit me in this evolutionary impulse, then release it. If it is not for my highest and best, let it go. Whatever it is, whether that's food that, I really shouldn't be eating 62 donuts a day, let it go. Well, you do know that relationship, we've been dating for, and it's so codependent of, then let it go. Like whatever it is, a job, a career, whatever it is, but in order to do that, we have to know. We have self-examination well enough to know in an authentic and transparent manner, is this for my best? Am I holding on because I am afraid to let go? But Reverend Ray, if I don't stay in this relationship, I'm going to be alone. I don't like being alone. So I'm going to stay in a codependent, passive-aggressive, narcissistic relationship with occasional abuse because I don't like being alone. We do that. And if we don't, we know people who do. If it's not for our highest and best, let it go. Ultimately, that's what let it go means. Let go of what is not for your highest evolutionary expression as the infinite I am that you are in expression. Next. Well, if I'm letting go and letting God, let go, wait. So if I'm letting go, let's go back for a second. If I'm letting go, what am I letting go of? Am I letting go of resentment? Because that also ties in. Am I letting go of grudges? Am I letting go of trauma, PTSD? Like, what is it that I am letting go of? Because that is also a very important thing in the recipe of life. In the same way that we would sit down and cook a meal, we gather the ingredients for the recipe and we double check and make sure, okay, I got cinnamon and I got nutmeg and I got flour and I got the eggs and I got they're vegan eggs, by the way, just so you know, and the eggs, and I got all my stuff going on, and I got the pots and the pans and the I don't even know what this thing is, but it makes foam. I don't know what it is, but I got it, and I got everything that I need to do to make the meal. The oven is preheated, We need to do the same kind of thing with our lives. Am I breaking things down to say, what in my life is not serving me? What in my life is serving me? What does it mean, highest and best for me? Do I take care of myself in the highest and best way? Self-care, if God is all there is, then the way we take care of ourselves is the way we take care of the universe. And as someone once said, the way we do anything is the way we do everything. Then if I disregard myself, then when I meet Deborah, I'm going to disregard her. When I meet Mel and Paul, I'm going to disregard them. Because why would I reach out to Josie and give love and compassion and humor when I don't afford myself that? Like, okay, it starts with self, as David and Lynn said. Consciousness, my consciousness. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, which is within, and all else will be added. What does our Declaration of Principles say? We believe that heaven is within, and we will experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. Internal, as within, so without. So I have to do a serious inventory of what in my life do I really need to let go of and then put into practice. Now, let God. When you say God, what do you mean? You mean that anthropomorphic? Nope, that's not what I'm talking about. Keep in mind that when we say things like, as a simple statement, just by changing your thinking, your life will change. That's a piece of the puzzle. In the same way that using the recipe, gathering the ingredients for the meal, that's only part of the thing. Because I can gather them, I can read the recipe and gather them, but until I put action to it, treat and move my feet. Treat and, not treat or treat and maybe, treat and move my feet. Faith without works is demonstrated accordingly. So, if I'm going to truly do this, then I have to be very mindful of, what is the practice that I am invited to engage in? So as a practice, let's pause for a moment, and I want you to get real grounded in your body. Like, be aware of where your body is touching a chair. Like, feel your bum touching the cushion. If it's resting against the back, Vince is outside, so feel the air. Like, wherever Denise is outside, sort of, kind of. I see some, but like, feel the ambiance of wherever you are. Feel it on your skin. Feel the temperature. Feel if you're frowning or smile. Like, feel your body. Don't think it. Like, feel what your body feels. Feel how your shirt is touching your skin, how your hair is touching your neck. Become very aware of your body. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say a couple of things, and I want you to be aware if your body, your sensations, your posture, if any of it changes. So breathe. Now, what I want you to do is bring to your mind's eye The thought of a meal, something that is a food that you believe, think, feel is nasty. It is the most disgusting. It's too sweet. It's too sour. It's too bitter. It's too well done. It's not well done enough. It's meat, and I don't do meat. It's like whatever it is. Bring it to, and if that doesn't work, you're like, but I love everything, Reverend Ray. Bring a bug. You are picking up a handful of flies and you are stuffing a handful of, there you go, a handful of flies in your mouth, and you can still feel them wiggling in your mouth. Bring that sensation. Now, come back and get rid of the bugs, get rid of the meat, get rid of the whatever it is, and recognize, were you aware of what on or your body, what changed? Could you feel yourself maybe frown? Did you have a verbal, like was there a response? So just be mindful of that, because the more we are in tune with our body, which is the very temple of spirit, and not just that it houses spirit, it is spirit in form. What does the Judeo-Christian Bible say? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and that Word was made flesh. The body that you use is the Word of the universe speaking itself in, through, and as your life. Your body is a sacred thing. It is beautiful, and it is holy, and it is divine. Not just the soul, not just the spirit that is quote unquote in it, but all of you. Every hair or lack thereof, every eyelash, eyebrow, every fingernail, every bone, every muscle fiber, tendon, all of it is God in human form. There is not a spot where God is not. That means every part of our bodies is the divine. And the more aware we are of it, the more we are aware of God and how Spirit is showing itself in, through, and as us, breath by breath, moment by moment. But if we dismiss the body, if we're not aware of it, if it's just a simple meat suit to be shed upon the moment the caterpillar is time to butterfly, I shall shed this, for it is of no use. Really? We're going to dismiss God like that, like, God is of no use in this physical. No. It's all God, and it must all be good. So let's come back. Breathe. So, how are we showing up? Knowing this, knowing that this is concretized form of spirit, how are we letting God as us have its way? How are we letting inspiration as us have its way? How are we letting creation and energy of love and compassion and joy and laughter and bliss have its way? Because all of that is how God, Source Spirit, is communicating to us, through us, in us, as us, all the time. All the time. And when we say, you know, Sandy, I was trying to get this job, I'm not really qualified, and I don't think they're going to hire me anyway, and, you know, I'm gonna just stop. And Sandy reminds me, but Ray, you are God, and if you are God, you are more than enough. Maybe not for that job, maybe that's not yours to do, but if you are Spirit incarnating itself as you, then you are more than enough, more than capable to do what you are here to do. But how often do we dismiss? I'm too old, I'm too something, they want a man and I'm a woman, and women aren't, and men aren't, and gay people aren't, and I'm too dark, I'm too light, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too thick, I'm too thin. How often do we go through the vast list of reasons we're not good enough for something? So if we are going to truly let go and let God be what it is in full as us, Is God beautiful? Yes. Then so are you. Is God wise? Yes. Then so are you. Is God capable? Then so are you. Is God creative? So are you. Is God this amazing, like, orgasmic dance of ecstasy? Like Rumi said, you are the universe in ecstatic expression. Yes, and so are you. The time to let go of self-criticism, self-condemnation, let it go. Stand in the awareness that that which is the infinite I am, that you are and will ever and have ever been. You existed before time existed, because there is only that which God is. So you are timeless, from past through present and future. That which you are is, or we believe says, we believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. That's what is the truth of each and every one of us. But when we claim, I don't have enough time, there's never enough time in the day. Time is fleeting. Time is short. I'm running out of time. Are we affirming our infinite nature? So how do we step into this ability to let go of the framework, the limitation of time, and step into the timelessness of the eternality of spirit, knowing that it's the truth of us, that it's both and. While in this form, I operate within time, I use time, I make it work for me. I am not bound by it. That's a different consciousness. So let's pause and breathe again. Pause and breathe again. So if we're going to let go and let God, then let God nurture itself as us. Let God support itself as us. Let God forever pour into itself as us. Let us truly let Spirit be what it is in its most elegant and magnificent and powerful expression, be exactly that, as us. But once again, we're invited to come back and say, what words do I use that discredit myself, that disjoint myself, that are discordant with that truth? That awareness of our body. We know when there's something that, and the tension in our back and tension in our neck, and we plow on through, we keep on going, adding more and more stress and tension until I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. But why did it get to that point? Why didn't we say, pause? For my own sake of self-care, I will speak a sacred affirmation. No. No is a full sentence. Just because we are asked to do something doesn't mean we have to, doesn't mean we're obligated to, especially if it means we are putting ourselves last all the time. I always do everything for everybody else. I never do. I always put me last. Why? So you put God last. In other words, God as you comes last. Breathe. So once again, if we're going to do this, then we have to become more self-aware to truly embody what it is we are claiming and declaring. So the universe has your back. What is the universe? Recognizing that the universe must have our back, our front, both sides, above and below. As Ernest Holmes said, there is a power for good in the universe. And I'm going to tweak and change this in a minute. There is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. Okay? So yes, there is a power for good that is the universe itself. And what it is, you are, which means you are already using it. Question is, are you using it in the most effective manner possible to demonstrate what you desire and deserve to demonstrate? Because we're already using the law. Whether we're using it to create more strife or more freedom. I always tell people, it's not possible to be out of alignment. You're either in alignment with illness or you're in alignment with health. We are always in alignment with something. Now, granted, if I am not in alignment with health, then I am out of alignment with health and I am in alignment with illness. But once again, it's what am I truly aligned with? My words convey my alignment. My life is a demonstration of my alignment. How many times have we heard people say, oh, such and such, love, 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 blah, blah, blah. And we look at their lived experience and we're like, that's just lip service. That's just talk. There's no action. They don't really mean that. So what we are saying in this teaching is, how do we embody, how do we live this so that when I was a fundamental Christian, we used to say this, you may be the only scripture, you may be the only Bible that someone reads today. Well, each of us, you may be the only affirmation that someone is exposed to today. You may be the only truth of light and love and spirit that someone is exposed to today. Or you may be the only demonstration of hypocrisy, of saying a thing but doing another thing. So once again, when I say what I say, is my word my bond? Am I convicted to speak truth? Am I convicted to think truth? Am I convicted to feel truth? Am I convicted to live this truth? Let go, let God, the universe has your back. So what is all this, all these words, what does this all mean? Ultimately, what it's saying is, there is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is amazing and beautiful and powerful, and that life is your life right now. And when we live in alignment with that, then of course, that which is the evolutionary impulse of creation, of course it is going to do what it does in, through, and as each one of us. So of course, why would God, does it not say in the Judeo-Christian Bible, a house divided, you cannot serve two masters, for you will love one and hate the other. So same thing, like you're either speaking truth and living truth, or you're not. There is only one life, not two, because 1 times 1 is 1. So there are 18 versions, 18 incarnations, 18 expressions, well 18, 19, 20 technically, because Mel and Paul, David and Lynn, so there are multiple expressions of one. But back of each one of us, there is only one power and presence, that is God. And of course, what it is would nurture itself, support itself, engage itself. That's what it does. God breathing itself as us. So it's only natural that that's what it would do. Question is, are we engaging it that way and letting it do that is more the question. So Ernest Holmes says, the only God we will, and I'm paraphrasing, the only God we will truly embody or know is the one that we are aware of within ourselves. There is no God outside of ourselves to know. So once again, he's bringing it back to this level of self-awareness, practicing. We do things like meditation and prayer and affirmations, etc. Do we do them as a spiritual practice? Or do we do it as a spiritual way of living? Right? There are some who go to the gym, some who eat a certain thing, some who, photography or art, and they do it as a practice, but not as a way of life. Follow the difference. Because the one who does it as a practice might occasionally be like, oh, I could have done Reiki, or oh, I didn't think about, oh, I could have had a V8, oh, I could have prayed. The one who does it as a way of life, of course, it's like being a physician. You're in a restaurant, you're dining, and you hear someone choking. The physician, who has made this career a way of life, immediately jumps into action. When someone brings to us, if I go to Eric and I say, Eric, and I go, lack, limitation, limitation, limitation. Eric, being grounded and anchored in truth, is like, yep, nope, nope, nope. Are you done yet? I hear you, but there is no soil in my consciousness for those seeds to land on. I will not commiserate with you and say, yep, the weather sure does. It's awful. Yep, the rich get richer and the poor get poor. Yep, I'm not going to buy into that paradigm. I hear what you're saying, and as David and Lynn said, what do practitioners do? They see through all of the yuck and the muck. They see through the condition. They see through the experience, and they go to truth. So when a family member comes to us with wah, 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 when our job and our coworkers wah, 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 when whatever that is, the news, whatever it is, when it comes to us, are we anchored and grounded in a way where we live this truth? We are the embodiment of love. And when we move out into the world, there is no choice but to shine as our divinely magnificent selves. Period. And so it is.